Good morning, friends on Zoom and YouTube. We will begin our devotional in just a few moments. Good morning, fellow pilgrims and friends and neighbors. Thank you for joining us this morning for our daily devotional. My name is Patrick Horn, and I am trying to mute the other version there. From Pilgrim Congregational Church, I'm Patrick Horn. We're very glad to have you along. We're going to read a few verses, and I'll offer a few reflections, and then we'll close with a word of prayer. So we've been looking at Romans chapter 14 this week, and I want us to focus particularly on verses 7 through 9 of Romans 14 this morning. So I'll read those from the New Revised Standard Version. We do not live to ourselves, and we do not die to ourselves. If we live to the Lord, and if we die to the Lord. So then, whether we live or whether we die, we are the Lord's. For to this end Christ died and lived again, so that he might be Lord of both the dead and the living. So I want us to focus on this idea of not living to ourselves. I think that the powerful message here is that Paul is dealing with specific issues. Remember, he's dealing with the question of whether it's okay for the Christians in Rome to eat meat, whether it's okay to celebrate the holidays with the other Romans, these other feast days. And Paul's powerful message is that it's not really about those things, that what it's really about is love. And I find it fascinating that there are people who want to argue that there's a huge break between Jesus and Paul. I don't deny that there are big differences, but Paul is trying to deal with cultural issues across the Roman Empire. And I just don't find that strong of a break between the two. And the reason I don't is because Paul makes it clear, and let's go back and look at Romans 12, verses 9 and 10, and Romans 13, verses 8 through 10. So Romans 12, 9 and 10, remember he says, let love be genuine, hate what is evil, hold fast to what is good, love one another with mutual affection, outdo one another in showing honor. And then in chapter 13, he said, in verses 8 through 10, owe no one anything except to love one another, for the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. The commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, and any other commandment are summed up in this word, love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no wrong to a neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. So I find it extraordinary that people would argue that there's this strong break between Paul and Jesus because Jesus is about love and Paul is about rules. I don't find that to be the case. I think Paul is trying to deal with rules, but he keeps saying over and over, it's about love. It's about loving one another, that this is what matters, not whether you agree with one another about some of these rules. And in fact, this is what's extraordinary. Paul allows for the possibility that you could disagree with him about a lot of these rules. You can disagree with Saint Paul about rules concerning whether to eat meats or celebrate certain holidays. What you can't disagree with Paul about, I think, is that all of your activity in the community must be undergirded by love. That's what holds the community together. That's what marks us, as Jesus says, that our love for one another, our concern for one another. And the kind of love that this is, it's not a sentimental love. It's not a love about, whether you've disappointed someone or hurt their feelings or that sort of thing. This is a sort of love that recognizes that just as you accept and live as if Jesus died for you, you also have to live and accept that Jesus died for the other person in front of you, whoever is standing around you or wherever you are. Jesus died for that person as well. It's that kind of love. It's the kind of love that is expressed in grace. The idea that you might love someone else, a stranger even, as much as you love your family. The idea that you might love an enemy, someone who you believe is out to get you in some way. And yet Jesus says that we are to love that person. That is grace. That is the sort of love that Paul is talking about here, a love that is absolutely consistent with the teachings and the life of Jesus Christ. Yes, we have to deal with all kinds of differences. Yes, we have to deal with all sorts of problems and issues. And Paul's not avoiding those. He's simply saying that you have to keep coming back to love. And he's trying to figure out, just as we should, he's trying to figure out, what does it mean to love the other person in this situation, in this circumstance? Let's close with a word of prayer. O light eternal, to whose dawning we lift our faces, shine on us gathered here to wait for thee. Pierce the earth-born clouds that hide thee from us, dark clouds of unbelief, chill clouds of anxiety, heavy clouds of despair. May every heart that watches with us see the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. Pour thy glory forth that we may see what lies around us, the light in the valley, the rainbow in the storm, the silver lining of the clouds. We thank thee for the dimmest consciousness of thy presence, the trail of a seamless robe about us, a light in the sky brighter than that of the sun, a burning of the heart, a whisper in the mind. But oh, for more, for the sunshine of thy face clear and radiant, the glory of thy throne resplendent and awful, the majesty of our daily path crowded with helpfulness, broadened with opportunity, a highway through the desert. Oh, for that vision for lack of which we perish. Is this thy throne an upreared cross? Is this thy form a bleeding lamb? Ah, thou hast stricken us and our whole hearts by this dying love, the revelation of perpetual sacrifice. We are humbled, we who never bowed. We are broken, we who never wept. Yet let us watch until our souls are able to see, for this is all our life and our salvation. Amen. Thank you for joining me this morning from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.